How about you send the Google Meet link for them to also join?
No, please.
Yeah,
send it.
You can't send it to the general public. Like Rachel said, they might hack it or something. So it's best to use.
Send Google Meet link for them.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our session today. Hi, class. Are you ready to go ahead?
Rachel, can you make me a co-host so I can read something?
Absolutely. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our event. Welcome to International Women's Day 2022, hosted by Women Technicals Nigeria, a cluster of different chapters across different parts of Nigeria. I will be introducing our host for today, the moderator of this session, Lesson Eloho. Lesson is the deputy lead for Women Technicals, is the lead ambassador for Women Technicals Happy. Lesson, over to you.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's International Women's Day event. We are happy to have you. So, like she rightly mentioned, it's brought to you by a cluster of, hi Blessing. It's brought to you by a cluster of women technical community here in Nigeria. And feel free to share the link across the network so other ladies can join as well. We have amazing speaker lineup for you. We have awesome panelists. I'm sure you do not want to miss this. So yes, we'd like to meet you. Tell us your name and where you're joining from the comment section. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Blessing. Tell us your name and where you're joining in from. Okay, Daniela from Nigeria. Hi, Daniela. Good to have you here. Hi, Philomena. Blessing. Welcome. All right, so while we share that, I will just read the code of conduct. First of all, we have to be respectful to each other. You know, this is a community where we respect one another. So if you're just joining for the first time or you're a member of this community, you should know that, yeah, we respect one another in the community. And also, if you see any form of harassment, also just please speak up. Please speak up. We'll listen to you. And we have zero tolerance policy for any form of harassment. So I'll just run through the agenda for today. So after this brief introduction, we'll be having our keynote speaker, Magda. And after that, there would be a Twitter challenge for all of us. We have amazing stuff for giveaway. So we'll just give you instructions on how you can participate and win the giveaway. Then we'll have a mini info session, which will be handled by Rachel, our regional lead. She's going to tell us what the Women Technical is all about. if you would like to lead a community, how to go about it, and also how to locate a chapter in your community and in your environment, and how to be part of the members. Then by 1:20, we'll have Rachel Orumo going to be speaking to us. Then after that, we'll have a panel session, giveaway and closing. So now I'll just go straight into inviting our keynote speaker. Magda is an enthusiastic and innovative engineering manager at Adobe Romania and a Google developer expert for Android. She has more than 12 years of experience in software development. She's passionate about technology. She's a blogger, trainer, public speaker, and promoter. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Blessing. So Magda is not here yet. Magda's session starts in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Let's try to do something else.
Okay.
Hi, you're here with us.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so please just let me know when Magda is on the call with us. But to the amazing ladies here, please keep sharing where you're joining in from, and invite your friends, invite your network. You can take a screenshot of you, post it on Twitter, let them know we've started the Regional International Women's Day. You can use the hashtag WTM hashtag IWD2022, and hashtag Progress Not Perfection. Forgive me, I didn't even mention earlier, our theme for this year's International Women's Day is Progress Not Perfection. This year we celebrate all wins, the small wins, big wins. We celebrate all the efforts we put in to better ourselves. And that's hence the theme, Progress Not Perfection. So please feel free to share it using our hashtag. You can also post it on Instagram and tag us at WTM Ninja. So please, let's do that. I'll also go to Twitter now. Yeah, I've seen Rachel's tweet. So please, let's keep posting. Remember, we have prizes to be won for active participants with the highest number of likes and tweets. So please, let's do that. We'll track all of that with the hashtag WTM Ninja. So I'm also going on Twitter now to check out all the tweets. Okay, so Blessing wants us to drop the hashtags in the comment section. Please, Rachel, can you help me do that? Just drop all our hashtags for today on the comment section. Thank you, Rachel. So the hashtags are there. So kindly go on Twitter or your social media and start tweeting about it. Let them know we are live.
Hi, so pending when we do that, I'm going to quickly play a video.
Hi, Hafsat from Zaria. You're welcome. For those that are just joining in, please feel free to drop your name, what you do, and where you're joining in from. Let's get to meet you.
Hi, Izene. Could you please enable screen sharing? Thank you.
Okay. You should be able to share now.
Yeah, I can see that.
Hi, Fatima from Abuja. Welcome. Thank you for joining in. Okay, I think we have Magda on the call.
Awesome. Let's get started then.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. So I will just introduce our keynote speaker and we'll get started with the session. So Magda is an enthusiastic and innovative engineering manager at Adobe Romania and a Google developer expert. Google developer expert for Android with more than 12 years of experience in software development. She's passionate about technology. She's a blogger, trainer, public speaker, and promoter of digital communities from Romania, supporting other technical professionals to constantly improving their knowledge. So thank you so much, Magda, for joining in, and please go ahead with your keynote speech.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm very happy to be here. And I must confess that I really like your t-shirt. It's really nice.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, so hello, everyone. I will share my screen in a bit. I hope you are able to see it. So today we will talk about how to focus on our strengths in this biased tech world. And we will cover three main areas. We will talk a little bit about what is a bias, how to break these biases, and how to grow in a biased tech world. So let's start. So what is a bias? The shortest definition possible for this concept is that it's a cognitive shortcut. So actually the unconscious biases are some assumptions or beliefs or attitudes that we have learned. And sometimes we are not necessarily aware about those things. And we make decisions without being aware that actually we go by using a shortcut, a cognitive shortcut. And the reason of these biases is related to the fact that our human brain can process usually 11 million bits of information at every second, but our conscious minds can handle only 40 to 50 bits of information a second. So thinking about millions, and then we realize that we actually are able to process a small amount of those million bits of information. In order to reduce the processing effort, the brain decided to have these cognitive shortcuts based on our experiences or cultural norms. The reality is that all our activities are influenced by these biases. So everybody is biased. And for sure, these biases are present also in the tech world. So through this talk, I hope I will help you to understand better what kind of biases are present in the workplace at this moment, and also how we could break them, and also focus more on our strengths in order to achieve our objectives. Based on a research done by Neuroleadership, they realized that actually there are 5 different kinds of biases. And when I prepared this talk, I researched a little bit about what kind of biases are present in our industry. And I found, and not only on our industry, but also in other industries that are relevant for our lifestyle. So I found a lot of interesting things that happen, and I think are still happening in some industries. For example, in the car manufacturing industry, they discovered that for the airbags, they didn't test them with women. So usually after some years, they discovered that actually those airbags were tested only with men on a specific constitution, with a specific constitution. And usually women are more small, or maybe they have a different body conformation. So they were not aware that those airbags from the cars should be tested also with women or with children. The same thing happened for YouTube. At the moment, they had an issue. They discovered that some videos, they didn't know what happened exactly, were instead to be on the landscape, they were on the landscape, but the image was switched. So it was not displayed in a normal way. And they didn't understand exactly what happened, why only a part of those videos are reversed, and what happened with the other ones that are displayed correctly. And in one day, I read about it. A person from that team, from the YouTube team, came and took the phone with his left hand. And this is how they discovered that actually those videos were reversed, because the phones were used by left-handed people, not only by right-handed people. And the norm usually is to use more your right hand, but there are also people that use their left hand as some main hand that help them to do their job and their work. So it's also about bias. They were not thinking about that is a case also to see what's happening if you record the video and you are a left-handed person. So, and these kind of examples are really present. If you are curious to search about them, try to make a rapid Google search and you'll find a lot of things. Also for Kinect from Microsoft, they had this kind of issues. Also for the banks, the algorithms used to tend to found the men more trusted to give them a loan and not to the women, and so on. So these kind of biases are present everywhere. It's very important to be able to identify them and to break them, or at least to try work on improving those aspects. And this research, coming back to my slide, found that there are actually 5 different categories of biases. The first category is similarity. And this means that we often prefer things that are like us over things that are different than us. And this kind of decisions could happen on the hiring process. You tend to find people that are similar to you, or when you join a team, you tend to join a team that where you could find colleagues that are similar with you, or to work on a project with some colleagues that you found the same passions or hobbies, or the same things. So to overcome this bias, you should work to actively finding the common ground with those people and looking for ways to unite all qualities for the benefit of that organization, if it's about the hiring, or for that project, if it's about joining a new project or a new team. So try to be aware that by default, we tend to go to the similar people and to hire similar people with us, and to bring next to us similar friends to us. The second category is the experience one. And this one can happen when we prefer to act quickly, rather than taking the time to receive the clarity and make sure we understood correctly that thing. For example, this can happen when we make a review, performance review with a person, or when we want to give feedback, or when we make code review, because we think that we know, we just give them a feedback or a comment or a review that is related to some shortcuts that are done in our brain without taking enough time to obtain all the information, to understand better the code and why exactly that person decided to do it this way. And in order to actually be more careful and take more time to understand exactly what's relevant there and to make a relevant decision. The experience bias. This one can occur when we forget that our truth is not always the only option. And here it's also about diversity and understanding that each individual contributes their own value to a decision. And in order to break this bias, the recommendation is to try to bring as many as possible opinions, try to brainstorm that decision or that solution, and try to make sure that everybody has his or her input in that decision, and make sure that at the end of those conversations, those brainstorming sessions, you will make the right decision. And also try to see the problem or the decision from different perspectives. The next one, the distance bias. And this one, I think it's happening now when the people also started to work in a hybrid way, and a part of the colleagues are working from home, the other ones are going to the office. And usually we tend to focus more on the people that are near to us than the ones that maybe are remote and they are connected through a Zoom call or through a video call conference. So, and also it's related to the things that we are doing. Usually we tend to do the things that are easy or that are near to our domain or near to our expertise. And sometimes when you decide to allocate time on the tasks from that area, is it possible to not bring the biggest impact that you could bring using your experience and your knowledge? So all the time evaluate the outcomes or resources, and also think about the this distance bias and see, okay, I'm doing this because it's very easy for me, or it's nerdy, or it's part of a domain that I'm an expert, or because it brings impact and value to my team or to my colleagues or to my organization. And finally, the safety bias. This one, it's related to the fact that we tend to avoid losing things, or we are afraid to make mistakes. And because of that, we avoid to make decisions. Usually we avoid to make decisions, or we avoid to take risks, because we are very afraid that we'll do some wrong things, we'll make some mistakes, and something bad will happen. And in this situation, what we could do is to really try to assess the risks, and also think about, okay, if I will do this decision, how I will see the things in the next 6 months, how the world will look for me in 6 months after I took this kind of decision, and try to assess all the things that you want to decide or to make, and try to think about those things and how they will look in 6 months. And by doing that, you will be able also to be aware more on the risks, and if you are able to handle them, or to have some plans that will help you to tackle them when they will appear. So these are the biases, the 5 big categories. Now, how to identify and address them? First of all, we should recognize that we have biases. So everybody who has a brain have biases. This is the rule, because just like I mentioned at the beginning, if you have a brain, you are not able to process 11 million of bits of information. So the brain will feel the need to make some shortcuts. So this is the first step. After we recognize this thing, we should identify and analyze what those biases are. And based on the research, there are more than 180 cognitive biases. And I added there a link. I already shared the slides with the organizer, so you could access the link after that and see what are those 180 cognitive biases. So try to identify them and analyze them. Analyze when you are doing, when you tend to be biased, in what kind of situations. And after you identify that list, try to decide which are the biases that affect your activity. And this is more like a prioritization. Okay, from this list of biases, which ones are the most impactful ones? And after you decided how to, which are all those biases, try to build a plan in order to avoid being biased in those kind of situations. And now, talking about the plan, I will share with you a tool about which I learned at a course from Oxford, a leadership course. And this tool is called the landscape of doubt. And these biases usually happens mostly when we make decisions. And even if we are not aware that we are making a decision, in that moment, we tend to be biased. And this tool, the landscape of doubt, was created by some teachers from Oxford that researched a big amount of directors and C-level people and tried to find how they make decisions. And actually, what they discovered was that when we make a decision, there are two axes that influence those decisions. The level of knowledge, I want to make this kind of decision. I know or I don't know how to make those things. So the horizontal axis, not knowing or knowing. So it's the level of knowledge regarding that decision. And the vertical axis related to how much courage do I have to make that decision. And it goes through also to different areas: anxiety or fearless. I am very afraid of making that decision, or I'm fearless. I have the maximum courage possible and I will do it. So splitting this, combining these two axes, we get actually 4 different quadrants in terms of making decisions. And I will start from the bottom left quadrant, the one with the learn. So I don't know, I have to make a decision, but I don't know anything about that. And I'm also very anxious. And here the recommendation is to start learning about that thing. For example, if I want to create a new architecture for my app, I don't know how to do it. And I'm very afraid that since the app is in production, if I will do something wrong, the users will be affected. What should I do in this situation is to start learning about that subject. So I will start learning about architecture. I will start learning from other companies or people who did something similar and try to understand what should be done in my situation. The second quadrant is when you are very anxious, but you know things. So talking about the same example, I already learned a lot of things about the architecture. I know how to do those things. I have some practices that I could apply, but I'm still anxious because maybe I'm a junior person, or maybe it's a very sensitive application and I have a big number of users. And if something will go wrong, those users will be affected. In this case, I should validate my decision. So I should make a proposal. Okay, this is how I think I should do the things, and validate that decision, that plan, with someone that has experience in that field, with an expert. In this case, I could go to an architect or to a more senior person who is able to validate my decision and my plan. Now, moving up, if I know and I'm fearless, so I validated the architecture, I'm really good, I have a lot of courage. In this situation, the best thing we could do is to challenge our ideas. So this is supposed to bring other people next to you, present them your idea, and encourage them to try to break your idea and tell you what could go wrong, what is not okay, what are the other perspectives that should be covered in that idea. So this is the challenging part. Actually, they are challenging your ideas, your plan, your proposal. And the final one if you are fearless, but you don't know, and maybe you don't have enough time to learn or to validate your idea, in this situation, when you don't know and you are fearless, you should prepare for the issues that will appear. And in this case, it's recommended to have a list with the risks and try to have a mitigation plan for those risks. Okay, if this risk will appear, what should I do in that situation in order to reduce the impact? So to prepare yourself for the unhappy path scenarios. So this is the landscape of doubt. Now, after we cover this part, we know right now what is the bias, what kind of biases are, and how we could be aware about them and have a plan, the landscape of doubt, and assess where are we in those quadrants. In order to grow ourselves in our careers, I found very helpful to have a professional development plan. And I split it in 4 steps. The first one is to assess where I am right now. The second one is to decide what I want to achieve. Then after decide how long should I spend on those objectives. Maybe I want to allocate 1 month or 3 months or half a year or maybe 1 year. And after that period of time, I should stop and review what I have achieved until then. And the fourth step is to make a retrospective about how the things happened. What was good, what was not so good, what should I do next? Okay, the first step, assess yourself, where I am right now. I found it that it's very important to know yourself as much as possible, because if you know yourself and you know how capable you are, or you know your strengths or your weaknesses, you are able to make good decisions. You are able also to overcome the challenges, and you are able to know when you should say yes to something or where should you send a no and try to focus on something else. And knowing yourself is critical, because the strengths and the skills or the competencies that you have, this is what you are bringing to the workplace. And how you are able to know more about yourself, I added here some recommendation. You could do a personal SWOT analysis, and I have a dedicated slide about it. It's a good test, the Big 5. It's a free one. You could try it and see how it goes. And you will discover a lot of things about you. Some things maybe about some things you are already aware, but some things could be new for you. Myers-Briggs type indicator is another good personality test, and also DISC personality test. So try to search them on the internet. I added the links, they are free. And now coming back to the personal SWOT analysis, this recommendation I got from a coach a few years ago, and it was difficult for me to decide what should I do next with my career. And that coach recommended me to take a piece of paper, split it in 4, and assess my strengths, my opportunities, weaknesses, and threats. For the strengths, I should cover advantages like skills, achievements, certifications, education, connections, everything that could be a strength for me. Opportunities could be events, conferences, a new role or a new project that appear in my company, the fact that the industry is growing. Weaknesses, skills that should be improved. It could be also on the technical part, or maybe on the people side, on the soft skills side. And threats, some impediments at work or some changes that could impact my career. So after you have done this SWOT, you will have a better understanding about the place where you are right now. And focusing more on the strengths, because also the topic of this presentation is focus on your strengths, is what I've discovered in the past year. And I don't know exactly in your culture how it happens, but here in my culture in Romania, we tend to focus more on our weaknesses. And we tend to spend more time on fixing things at ourselves than continue to work on our strengths. And the research behind this mindset is related to the fact that the people from Gallup discovered that if we focus more on our strengths, the impact is bigger than focusing on our weaknesses. Because on the weaknesses, you need to start from scratch. You need to solve those things, have a plan, and for sure it will take a lot of time in order to solve them and in order to have an impact in those areas. But if you focus more on your strengths, you'll have a biggest impact, and you will not feel so much pressure on you, and you will not feel so much effort implied there, because the strengths are part of you. It's a natural way of you to do those things. So for sure, the impact will be bigger. So this is why it's important to focus on our strengths, and it's also proved by the research. And how do we identify our strengths? It's important to listen and ask for feedback. Wherever you have the opportunity, ask for feedback from your manager, from your colleagues, from your friends, for your family. You find also to learn more about you and understand how the other people see you. Because about some things you are maybe not aware. Consider your passions. What do you like to do? Maybe you are a very organized person. Maybe you enjoy writing documents, or maybe you enjoy reading. Try to understand exactly what are your passions and see how you could use those passions in your work in order to achieve your objectives and move on to the next level. Pay attention when you are most productive, because in that moment, for sure, you are using your strengths. It's something that it came natural. Ask others directly. You could also take a personality test, this one from Gallup, or try to find out some new experiences, try to be involved in new experiences, and try to observe yourself on which kind of activities you are very good at. And those are your strengths. And talking about that personality test, it's done by Gallup. It's a book also. And they split these strengths in 4 categories. And the good part is that they offer you the first 5 strengths of yourself, and also recommends you how you could use those strengths in order to help you achieve your objectives, and give you also some ideas. So it's very helpful, that approach. I found it very helpful. And also I must confess that a big part of them, I was somehow aware about them, but for a part of them, I was not able to verbalize them, to say, okay, this is a strength for me. I was not able to do that. But after I did that test, it was really clear for me. Okay, so this was the first step, the part to see where are we right now and try to understand better your strengths in order to use them in your career plan. The second step is to prepare your objectives. And here I recommend this approach with the OKRs. Objectives and key results. So what I want to achieve, I know where I am right now, and I should have a plan for what I want to achieve. And this plan should be decided by yourself. It will be for a plan for 1 month, for 3 months, for 6 months, wherever would you like to allocate. The objective is the what, so what I want to achieve. And the key result is the how I will achieve that thing. And all the time, the key result should contain numbers. And I added in the slides at the end a sample about how, for example, how to learn Kotlin in 6 months. And I prepared an OKR with specific actions that are measurable, because this is important to have the key results with numbers, because they are not measurable. And you will know for sure in an objective way if you did that objective or not. Try to not have more than 5 objectives. And also try to assess what is your learning style. If you like to read, or if you like to watch videos, or you are a hands-on person. And based on that, collect resources that will help you to gain those new skills, or help you achieve those objectives. And here I also added some time management techniques, because we know that the time is the most valuable resource we have. So it's important to have some techniques that could help you to organize better your time. But other than organizing your time, another aspect is regarding to the habits. And here I recommend you to a book. Maybe you have read it already. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And in that book, the author emphasized that fact that, okay, it's perfectly fine to have some objectives. But sometimes if you have only objectives, it's difficult to achieve them. And I also could share that from my experience. I think about 4 or 5 years ago, at the end of the year in December, I used to create a Trello board where I define my objectives for the next year. And for sure, in that moment, I was very ambitious. I wanted to do a lot of things, and I repeated this process, but I realized that, okay, I was able to achieve, let's say 30%, 40%, or 50% in the most lucky years. But I was not able to achieve all those things. And when I've read this book, I discovered that actually, more than having this objective set, it's important to have a system of good habits that will help us to achieve those objectives. And I will give you an example. For example, in my situation, I was very frustrated because I was not able to read enough. I really enjoy reading, usually technical stuff, but also these books in this area of leadership. And I didn't have time. Actually, I was not able to organize myself in a proper way in order to have time to read. And after I discovered this book, I created a system of habits that will help me to read more. So what I've done, in the morning, I tend to drink coffee. So after I prepare my coffee, I take my favorite book, and and when I drink the coffee, I also read. So I connected a habit that I already had, the one of drinking coffee in the morning, with a new habit that I want to create, this one of reading. So all the time when I took the cup of coffee, I take also my book, and I'm able to read at least 50 minutes per day, which it's something then 0. And this could grow in time. So try to assess your current objectives and focus on building good habits that could help you to achieve your objectives. And that book, Atomic Habits, is not the only one on this area talking about the habits. And I added here the schema for building a good habit. So first of all, you should make it obvious. The trigger for your new good habit must be visible, and you must be aware of it. In my case, it was really visible. I have the cup of coffee, I have the book next to my coffee machine. So all the time I finish making my coffee, I take the cup of coffee and the book. So I make it obvious, make it attractive. Action needs to be attractive. And here the recommendation is to correlate that action correlate an action that you already like with an action that you need. In my case, I really enjoy drinking coffee in the morning, and I connected with this new action of reading. Make it easy. Here it's about reducing the difficulty. For example, at the beginning, I wanted, okay, I must read 1 hour per day. Was not possible because I had some days where I wake up early, or I was very tired, or I didn't have enough time. So I decided, okay, if I read 50 minutes, which is not a big amount of time, I'll be very happy with it. So I simplified the objective and reward it, make it satisfying. In my case, for sure, it's satisfying because I really enjoy reading, and I feel that I achieved something in that day. Okay, I read those paragraphs or those pages, and this is what I learned from those pages. And this part with the habits, it's also relevant for the bad habits. For example, I used to, in the past, I used to focus more on social media accounts. So what I've done, I uninstalled the apps. And for the ones that are still on my phone, for example, Twitter, let's say, I added a timer in order to make sure that I don't spend too much time on that application. So you should have the same process in a reverse style to break a bad habit. So it's the other way around for the good habit. Make it invisible. So usually, or the app is uninstalled, or it's I'm not able to access it because I already spent those 50 minutes per day. Make it unattractive. I know that I will lose a lot of time. difficult because if I finish that allocated time, I need to go to settings and change the timer, and I'm aware that I'm also doing a bad habit. And unsatisfying because I know that I lose a lot of time and this is not helping me. So the first step was where I am right now. The second step was what I want to achieve and define those objectives and have a system of good habits that will help you to achieve those objectives. The third one is related to the review part. So I allocated 3 months to do these things. Now let's see where I am right now. And here I recommend keeping notes of your accomplishments. And I recommend you also for this process that I present you, but also for the accomplishments you are doing at work or at school, because that list will help you in 2 different areas. The first one is that if you have a bad day and you are not in such a great mood in that day, that journal, if you open it with the list with your accomplishments, and if you start reading from there, will boost your confidence. You'll feel, okay, so what I've done these things. Okay, I'm not so, the situation is not so bad. Look what I did until now. And the other part, other than boosting your confidence and give you a feeling of achievement, especially for the work, if you have this list of accomplishments, and if you have a performance review at your company, through those meetings with on the performance review with your manager, you could go to your manager and say, okay, these are my accomplishments from the last half a year. And maybe you want a promotion. And I think I would like to get a promotion, and here is a list with all of my accomplishments. So it will be very easy to prove your value, to prove your effort, and to prove your skills. Okay, score your results. Try to see, okay, this objective is done or not. If it's done, perfect. If not, you will see what should be done next. It is still relevant for you, or if not, if it's not relevant for you, you should consider it done. And for this moment, we are good with it. If the objective is still relevant to you, you should move it to the next planning time. And also try to find a way to get feedback about those objectives. Try to talk with some mentors or experts. And also from my experience, I found it very helpful to have a mentor. It's a boost for your career. And it also offers you, that person offers you a different perspective about some challenges, or a different perspective about how to handle some things or how to achieve some objectives. So I truly recommend find you a mentor. And the final step, the step number 4, the retrospective. Try to assess and be very fair with you and very honest, and assess what contributed to your success and what kind of obstacles did you encounter. And based on that, try to plan better for the next cycle of objectives and repeat the entire process. So these were the steps. Where I am now, the first step. Second step, and try to focus a lot on strengths. Identify your strengths and focus on them. Try to see how those strengths will help you to achieve your objectives. On the step number 2, define your objectives. You could use that model of objectives and key results, and use numbers when you define your key results, because you need an objective way to assess if that objective was done or not. Step number 3, review your results. And step number 4, do a retrospective and assess how it was and what's next. So what are the lessons learned from this? And here I have 4 points, and these are also lessons learned from my own experience. What I've learned, I think this was the best advice that I could get from one of my previous mentors. She mentioned to me that I am 100% responsible for my career. And because I tended to think that my manager should should help me set up should bring me the objectives. My manager should bring me some resources that will help me to achieve those objectives. Or all the time I try to say that it's someone else that should do those things for me and should help me to have success. The reality is that we are 100% responsible for our careers. The second one is to have courage. And on this one, I must confess that I'm still working. I have a lot of anxiety when I change something or when I need to do something new, because I'm very afraid to make mistakes. And that tool, the landscape of doubt that I already presented to you, I found it very helpful for me. And all the time when I'm very anxious, I focus on the learn and validate activities and to gain more knowledge and more courage. But the reality is that we learn when we are in a discomfort area. Find a mentor to boost your career. And here I found a very helpful course on LinkedIn Learning about how to be a good mentee and how to find a mentor. And I truly recommend it to you. And if it's difficult, remember to take a break and then start over, because after you take a break, you are able to reorganize your thoughts and go outside, drink some water, have enough sleep. For sure, it's not an easy thing to do, but take a break and start over and try to find people around you that encourage you and offer you support. That's it on my side. Thank you very much. And I found this, I closed my slides with this poster, don't believe everything you think. So try to understand when you are biased, focus on your strengths, and follow your dreams. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Magda. Wow, that was a really, really great session. Please, if you have any questions for Magda, kindly drop it in the chat session. Magda will be there to answer all your questions. Hi.
Hello.
Okay, thank you so much, Magda. Thank you for joining us.
I was thinking that someone has a question. Okay, good.
Okay, so the questions will be dropped in the chat session.
Okay, I will search them there. And I shared already with you the slides. Thank you very much for having me and wishing you the best.
Sure.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. All right, so moving forward, I'll be announcing the Twitter challenge again. So if you haven't started tweeting, please kindly do so. I've seen some tweets, I've seen that of Elizabeth, Rachel, so let's all keep it coming. And also use the hashtags in the comment section. So all you need to do for this challenge to win our giveaway, take a screenshot of you attending this event, take a screenshot, go to Twitter, and then say one or two things you've learned so far, or just say something about the IWD Niger event. And okay, Fatima is asking if we could get the hashtag again. Please, Rachel, kindly drop the hashtag again in the chat session. All right, so take a screenshot of you attending this event, go to Twitter, just post something, then tag wow. What is going on?
Hi. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you please remove those people?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do now. Oh, God.
Thank you.
I'm not sure they are here again.
They've left. Thank you. Yeah, I've dropped the hashtag. Blessing, please go ahead. So sorry everyone for that. Hi, Blessing.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I think I was muted. Hi, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, so just go ahead and use those hashtags. Feel free to post on Twitter. We have amazing gifts for the winners. So next on the agenda, we'll be having an info session just for those that don't know what the Women Technica is. Rachel will give us a brief info session to tell us what we need to know about the Women Technica, how we can become ambassadors. That's for those that want to be ambassadors of the Women Technica, and how to be member of the community. So please, Rachel, go ahead with that.
Hi everyone. Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm just going to quickly share my screen. Thank you so much for joining us. Please kindly confirm that you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yes, you can.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much everyone for joining us. My name is Rachel Onoja, and I am the Women Technicas Nigerian mentor. Thank you so much for joining us on our IWD event. Yeah. So I am here to give a brief introduction to the Women Technicals program. What is the Women Technicals program? The Women Technicals program is a program by Google, initiative targeted at ensuring that women are more represented in tech. The initiative started in 2017 and just around 2014. Yeah. Sorry, 2017, yeah. And just around that time was when I joined the community, and it's been amazing so far. We are building a world where all women can thrive in tech through access to technical resources and leadership programs. So the goal of the Women Technicals program is to ensure that more women have access to are more visible through, that is, whatever women are building, they get to have like a spotlight to kind of like display all of their work, their amazing work, and also a community where they can relate with other women who are doing the same things as them, or even other women who want to learn. That is not just people who are really great, but also enthusiasts. I could use Magda as an example. Magda is someone who is part of the Women Technicals community, and she is experienced. While some set of people who are on the other parts of the dance, that part people who who are not so good. So connecting such people. Okay. Isn't can you please mute everyone? Thank you. So connecting people who are on the spectrum of being experts and people who are on the spectrum of being enthusiasts who are trying to get into the community and also have access to resources and technical support, mentorship. That is the goal of the Women Technicals program. Over the past, so being part of the program, you can either come in as an ambassador or come in as a member. I would come back to this. Our impact over the years, we've hosted since 2014, we've hosted 1,000, we have 1,000 ambassadors across the world. We have hosted 605 events. We've had 367 speaking engagements aside hackathons, and we have over 8,000 members, active members. We have a lot of stories in our community. I will drop a link to this website, which is the official Women Technicals website, in the chat section. You can just go through it and share, watch these videos, get to understand what we are doing, get to hear about more women who are doing amazing things within the Women Technicals. Quickly come back to becoming an ambassador or becoming a member. So for all of the people who are part of this call, some of them are members while others are new. This is their first time attending the Women Tech Makers event. If you would love to be part of the community, Women Tech Makers initiative has different chapters spread across different parts of the world. In Nigeria alone, we have over 50 chapters that is across the different states. In a state, sometimes you might have 2 chapters. So being part of a chapter requires you to become a member of the Women Tech Makers program. Being a member of the Women Tech Makers program, when you get to the website, click on this link and it will take you to a part where you fill in your details and then you get fully onboarded as a member. Then if you want to also be you want a local chapter, because being a member here, clicking on this link introduces us to the entire network of Women Tech Makers across the world. However, if you want to join a local chapter, please ask the person who shared the link for you to join this call with us, and immediately the person that with you, they would direct you to an ambassador, to a chapter closest to you, so you can become part of the local chapter. Then for becoming an ambassador, this is for people who feel, okay, I want to see how I can empower more women to get into tech. I want to see how I can empower more diversity within the ecosystem. You click on become an ambassador, you fill a form, and you get to talk to people from Google who get to say, are you qualified to be an ambassador? Are you qualified to lead this mission to get more people into tech? Usually, if there's already an ambassador or ambassador within your region, you may not get approved. So I would recommend, if being an ambassador is something you would love to do, then connect with a local chapter closest to you. If you're already part of that chapter, look towards volunteering more for events, participate in whatever events they are hosting or any program they are planning on coming up with, any initiative, any workshop. Volunteer, show up, get people to see that you can actually support, you can actively impact the community. And when you've done that effectively for a period of time, even those people who you've been volunteering and supporting, those Women Tech Makers ambassadors, they can recommend you to become an ambassador. So that's it about the Women Tech Makers program. Some of the events we host, including the International Women's Day, which we're hosting today, aside the International Women's Day, which we're hosting today, we host info sessions whereby we tell you what Women Tech Makers is about, and then tell you about all of the programs we have planned for the year. We have technical writing sessions, we have code lab sessions, we have hackathons. Last year we hosted a hackathon where a lot of women came, built really amazing solutions to issues such as online safety for women. A lot of women are being bullied online, so they ensure that they build solutions around it and people left with cash prizes. Aside the hackathons, we have code labs, which are sessions whereby you come collectively with a group of people and you are learning a particular skill. If it are you're learning Android development, if you're learning web development, all of these are called code labs. These are like technical workshops where you work with other people towards building technical skills. Amongst that, we have other interesting initiatives which we have every year. In a year, we host different campaigns. We have the panel session, Power Panel. Power Panel is targeted at bringing women who are within our community who are doing really amazing things, spotlighting them, getting them to share their experiences with other women across the community so that these women can learn from them, hear about the mistakes they've made and see how they can support them to become even better women and even better in their career. We also have other activities such as, we call this activity, meet and greet. Yes, meet and greet is just for us ladies to come together, catch up, and other people, either men who are women in tech allies. So the Women Tech Makers community is not just for women, even for men who are allies, they are able to join the community. So meet and greet, we come together, chat, have conversations. What are you doing? What are you currently building? What's an interesting project you are doing and you need help with? Such events or such meetups get people to become part of something greater than themselves. So the meet and greet is not like an event where we have speakers and all of that. It's just let's come, let's connect, let's chat, let's network, and let's see how we can build really amazing things together. So that's it from me. That's everything you need to know about the Women Tech Reverse program. If you have any questions, you can just drop them in the chat section. While we go ahead with the activities for the day, I would drop answers as soon as you drop your questions in the chat section. Thank you so much for having me. Lesson, over to you.
Leslie, I think you need to unmute your mic.
Hi, Blessing.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, sorry about that. I couldn't unmute my mic because of the settings. Yes. So next we would watch a video of Alisa and Maga. They will be giving us a talk about investing in our career. And the topic is invest in your career, get Google Cloud certified. So we just set that up and let's all pay attention and listen. If you have any questions, you can feel free to drop it at the chat session. So yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for having us. I'm just going to start off by introducing myself and my colleague here. So I'm Alyssa. I'm a program lead for Google Cloud Certification Readiness in the Americas. So basically what that means is I work with folks to help them get ready to get certified, like yourselves. So really excited to do this. And I'm going to pass it to Margot to introduce herself as well.
Hi, I'm Marga. Nice to meet you all. I am the certification and credentials lead here. And that basically means that anything that has to do with certifications or credentials, we touch. And fun fact about myself at Google, I have been at Google for a little over 7 years, and I have been to over 30 cafes around the world. Some of the best food I've ever had and some of the most fun locations. Alyssa, what's your fun fact?
Ooh, let's see. I've actually been to Google Paris before. I was traveling, and that's one of the really cool things about working at Google is you can go to any office. The food was really good, so I +1 that really great food across the world. But as we go forward, we want to talk on a couple of topics. So one, we're going to talk through the demand for cloud computing roles and what that looks like in this market. And next, we're going to go through some learning resources and the Google Cloud certifications themselves. And we'll also show you a simple learning journey for those cloud engineer track. And then finally, we're going to talk about why these certifications are how they are and how they pay off. So first, as I said, what's the demand like for cloud computing roles? Well, right now, cloud skills are critical and in high demand. There are many leaders that are looking for folks who are competent in the cloud, but we also see that there's a large skills gap in that. And so with that, a lot of employers are posting roles that are asking for cloud skills. We actually saw job postings with these skills listed grow about 40.5% from 2019 and 2021. So it's really on the uptick. And what better way to show that you're competent in the cloud than getting certified. And fun fact is that our two of our certifications, the Professional Cloud Architect and the Professional Data Engineer, are the top 2 paying IT certifications for 2022 in the US. So definitely a great time to be certified in this market. Now I'm going to pass it to Margot to talk about our resources.
Thank you, Alyssa. So Google Cloud has a lot to offer in terms of learning and what best fits your learning styles. So 4 of the different types of channels that we have are instructor-led. These are where authorized training partners will actually deliver the class either in person or virtually, and you get that one-to-one interaction. We have on-demand learning, and so this is take it anywhere in the world at any time you'd like. We have a library of over hundreds of courses that you can watch at any speed towards your goals. We have hands-on labs. This is a particular favorite part of mine because you actually get hands-on experience with the Google Cloud platform. And we have labs and quests where you gain experience and then you can get badging along the way. And then of course, what we're here to talk about today, we have our credentials and certifications. To what Alyssa spoke to, we're seeing this huge need in the market to have skills within specific job roles, and what better way to show employers, schools, and put on your resume and social media that you have those skills getting Google Cloud credentials. So going back to the hands-on labs, I wanted to touch on a newer product of ours, Google Cloud Skill Badges. This launched a little over a year ago. And what is a skill badge, you might be asking? So these are exclusive digital Google Cloud badges that are verified and given to you by Google Cloud. And basically, they help and show that you can demonstrate specific skill sets. These are a type of a micro-credential. And what we find with something like this is for individuals who want to go deep in a certain area, but in a quick amount of time. People that want to stack different opportunities. This is good preparation for certification, as well as just demonstrating different niche areas that you might be interested in. And so what is a skill badge more specifically? It's a bundle of hands-on labs within our Skills Boost platform. It ranges between 5 to 7, and the component of it is learning labs where you actually learn how to do something step by step. And then the last lab of the quest actually gives you a scenario where you have to solve it on your own. And so by taking the final assessment, we test your ability, and then you're awarded a badge. And so the really cool thing about this is that you can display your badges on your social profile, LinkedIn, Twitter, and then you can see all of your badges within your Skills Boost profile. If you want to learn more, the link is right on the slide. Not sure which way it's going to be showing, but just cloud.google.com/training/badges. And so back to our certifications. They are specifically proficiency and role-based certifications. And what this means for you is that they benchmark you against a specific job role to ensure that you are ready to have success in that role. And the way that we develop our certifications is that we take a wide net of what the ecosystem of cloud job roles looks like. And we kind of benchmark our portfolio to match what's in high demand from our customers, partners, and what we're seeing in the world. And so when we go and find a job role that we think is relevant or new to the ecosystem, we sit down with a wide range of individuals who have this job role in order to ensure that we are building a certification that actually tests the skills that you have in the day-to-day. And then people who are certified can be confident that the material is up to date because our teams basically evaluate the content on a biannual basis, so twice a year, to ensure that what we're testing against is actually still the same skills. Because the cloud ecosystem is so rapidly changing, we ensure that our certification content matches what we're seeing in the market. So to that extent, here is our portfolio of certifications. So you'll notice that we have 3 levels of certifications. We have our foundational, associate, and professional. Foundational is the newest leveling and type of certification that we offer. I'll be going into more details about that the next slide. And then our 2 technical level of certifications are associate and professional. We have 1 associate level certification. We typically recommend around 6 months of hands-on experience with GCP for this, and that's for the associate cloud engineer. And then you'll notice that we have, let me add the math, 8 professional level certifications. And what we do typically recommend for a professional level is 3+ years of industry experience and then 1 year's hands-on experience with GCP. Again, this is just recommendations from our side. We have had individuals who have been in the market far longer. We've also had students who teach themselves within a 2-month time period. So again, within the parameters, these are very general recommendations from our side. And so what we do recommend is if you feel like you want to take a specific certification, that you go to our website, look at the exam guide for each of the certifications, and really use the study guide as a benchmark of the knowledge topics that you may or may not know. So let's dive deeper into our newest level of certification, Cloud Digital Leader. So what is a Cloud Digital Leader? We basically made this certification to help distinguish and evaluate the various capabilities of Google Cloud. And so a digital cloud leader is well-versed in basic cloud concepts and can demonstrate a broad application of these cloud computing knowledges. It's job role independent. And so what we mean by this is you'll notice that our other certifications are very rooted in a specific job role, like a cloud engineer, machine learning engineer, and so forth. But a cloud digital leader is really open and broad to allow all levels and types of roles to be able to take this certification. And it really assesses your knowledge of understanding the purposes and applications of Google Cloud products. And so if you're wondering, is this right for me? We typically say that it's for tech adjacent roles or individuals who are brand new to the cloud. And so Alyssa and myself are cloud digital leaders. We've been through the process, and it is a really great starting point in your cloud career or your cloud kind of experience, and can definitely be used as a starting point into any of our other certifications. So if you are a little more further along in your cloud path and Cloud Digital Leader is not meant for you, but you're more interested in our technical certifications, we have those 2 types again, which are the associate and professional level certifications. And so this slide really helps define where you should start. So if you're wondering which certification to get, break it down this way. If you have more hands-on experience, you design and implement solutions with business objectives, you should consider pursuing a professional level certification. If you find that you're new to cloud, new to GCP, we do recommend that the associate cloud engineer might be the better of the certifications. It's an excellent entry point into Google Cloud technologies, and it's definitely an attainable step towards your path to the professional level certifications. And then again, in your role, if you either are doing this or seeking a job that has more of the technical requirements, we then do recommend the associate cloud engineer, as it is the most hands-on of the certifications within our portfolio. So just a little about our exams, and this is going to apply for the technical exam, so the associate and the professional levels, so ACE, and then all of the professional levels. The length of these exams are 2 hours. The exam format will be a combination of multiple choice and multiple select questions. Again, there are no prerequisites in which you have to complete in order to be able to sit for the exam. And then the exam delivery, you can take the exams in a testing center or online proctored from any remote location. And then if you have any more questions about any of this, again, not sure which way the link will show up, but cloud.google.com/certification/FAQ will have more information and more questions if you have them. So we kind of touched on our certification portfolio. We introduced you to skill badges. We touched on our newest level of certifications, the Cloud Digital Leader Foundational Exam. And then we touched on how to distinguish whether you should start with the Associate Cloud Engineer versus the professional level certification. So what we find is that the Associate Cloud Engineer is where most of audiences similar to yourselves would find themselves. And so we thought we should go through the recommended learning journey for the Associate Cloud Engineer, break down the different course options, and then kind of link that back to where I started, where we have a full curriculum of courses available. So the Cloud Fundamentals for Infrastructure is a great course to start with. You can take this on demand through any of our learning platforms. Skills Boost, which is our latest learning platform, will actually have a learning offer for you at the end of this, so stay tuned for that. And then we will have architecting with Google Compute Engine, and then getting started with Google Kubernetes Engine. So again, courses that will help prime you with the knowledge. And then we're really going to have the practice part of the learning journey, where you can take your knowledge and apply it in those environments. And so we have 4 skill badges along the way that we recommend that map to the Associate Cloud Engineer. The great thing about these skill badges are you're getting the hands-on experience. You're learning how to actually apply your knowledge from the courses in the GCP environment. And then what's even better is that you actually get a cool badge after you finish each quest, so the multiple labs, and then you can share that with your social media profile or your Skills Boost profile. And so at the very end of that, we have a Preparing For course, and these are going through the courses and lab works. Also on the actual exam web pages, we have documentation, sample questions, and additional resources that you can go to at any point in your studying. And then outside of our exam pages, we have partnered with Wiley Publication to create 3 additional study guide materials. And so these are the official Google Cloud certified study guides. And so we have 3 of them available for our certification portfolio. And as you can see, they map to the Associate Cloud Engineer, the Professional Cloud Architect, and the Professional Data Engineer. What more, these are great assets if you are someone that just likes to have something in front of you to study with, or just want additional practice questions outside of the sample questions available on our website. And so if you visit www.wiley.com, we actually offer a 50% discount, and we will include that in all of the follow-up material. So no worries if you do not have a pen beside you, but we will send all of that out. And again, this is just an additional great resource in your preparation journey for any of these 3 certifications. So I will hand it back to Alyssa so she can talk about all the fun stuff of why and the benefits of actually getting a Google Cloud certification.
Thank you, Margot. So we're seeing across our certification program that there's numerous benefits. One, you're going to feel more confident in your future. You're able to prove your skills to recruiters. And with that, your resume looks more attractive. You're able to add those badges to LinkedIn, and you're feeling more confident in your cloud skills overall. And this is really important because confidence really goes into the job search and, finding different roles or, even just presenting yourself. And so it's really important to be able to harness these skills and have that as a part of your repertoire. You also get some cool swag when you are certified. So once you receive a Google Cloud certification, you get a badge and a certificate. You get some exclusive swag, which is always awesome. You also are a part of our Google Cloud certified community. And so you have that growing network where you're able to exchange those ideas and meet people. And again, you're able to showcase those badges. So LinkedIn, other places, social media, you can really show that off because you worked hard for that. As Margot talked about before, we have a great learning offer for you all. Our new platform, Google Cloud Skills Boost, is a destination where we host all of the labs, the courses, and all of the resources that we talked about today. And so you will be able to access all of these resources for 1 month or 30 days at no cost if you visit the link cloud.google.com/training/learning-path-offer. Again, like Margot said, if you don't have a pen, we'll send everything out. But this is a great offer that we have for you all. So please sign up and start taking advantage of that learning. We also have a couple of additional resources that we wanted to highlight. Our tutorials, quick starts, Cloud Minute, and sample projects. These are great resources that you can look to be able to prepare, learn more about cloud, and really get different perspectives on things within that stratosphere. And with that, we just want to thank you for your time. We really enjoyed being able to have this time with you all. If you have any questions, we know you have your live Q&A there with the experts, so we'll leave it to them. But thank you again for joining us, and we hope to see you soon.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Blessing, over to you.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you so much. So I'm going to the next on our agenda. Our next speaker is going to be talking to us about getting started with Dialogflow. She's a tech entrepreneur and software engineer. She offers services internationally to help companies adopt best practices in the software industry. As a STEM educator, she has pioneered various STEM initiatives targeted towards African youths. She's actively engaged in developing Africa tech ecosystem and also promoting diversity and inclusion in the tech industry, especially that of women. She's equally a mentor to tech startups, providing solutions for African indigenous problems. Please welcome virtually, with a round of virtual applause, our speaker, Rachel Orumo. Hi, Rachel. Thank you so much for joining us. Please, the floor is yours. Host, please, I think you have to unmute her. Yes.
All right, I think it's fine now. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. This is going to be a bit interactive. So, hi, everyone. I hope you like learning Dialogflow. Oh, thank you, Fatima. Thank you. Good afternoon, Blessing. Good afternoon, Maureen. Thank you so much. So basically, I know this is a IYD, we are celebrating women, but among the celebration also, we're going to be learning one or two. Hey, hello, Audrey. Audrey is the regional lead for Francophone West Africa. Thank you very much for joining in. Basically, Dialogflow, I don't want it to be, like I said, boring. So I tried my best I put a lot of effort and energy into the slides so that you like it and you want to learn Dialogflow immediately you leave here. So I can promise you that, and I hope my promise stays. So I'm going to share my screen. Do I have the possibility to do that? Yes, I do. Okay, so talking about Dialogflow, I know many times, especially when you're in the Google community, there are many terms we hear often. Obviously, we hear all these terminologies of all these new technologies, but obviously because so many things comes out here and there, we might not necessarily be working on those technologies. So first of all, I would like to know how many of us have heard about Dialogflow before. Just let me know in the chat. Do you work on Dialogflow? Do you know about Dialogflow? Okay, I'm waiting. Just let me know if you have worked with Dialogflow before or not. So I'll wait one more minute. Oh, okay. Moby said no. Okay, one more person. Okay, it's your first time. Okay, all right. So, oh, thank you, Ruth. Welcome to you too. Okay, basically, Dialogflow is, I'm going to start with some boring stuff, then we'll go to some interesting stuff. So basically, Dialogflow, this is how it looks like. So next time when you see the logo, you know, even if you don't know it's Dialogflow. We're going to be doing some explanation because it's important. It's a very, unlike other technical domains, Dialogflow requires you have a bit of knowledge in data science. So I'm going to just give us some few definitions. I feel it's important. So to start with, Dialogflow allows you to build conversational experiences. What do I mean by conversational experiences? We know today that we've been migrating from having your standard application where you type or your text to give command to your application to being able to speak to our application to do things. So you have the Google Assistant on your Android phones, you have the Google Home, you have Amazon Echo, you also have Alexa. So basically there are tools out there, there are resources out there that allows you to converse with your application. So Dialogflow is Google's tool that allows you to build conversational application. And the good thing about Dialogflow, the Google's Dialogflow, is that you don't really need to have a lot of technical experience to be able to use Dialogflow. So basically, Dialogflow allows you to build conversational experiences that allows your user to get things done. So you can build an app where you have to talk to the app just to give you things, to do things, to make a phone call, to book a calendar, etc. So basically, you can speak your natural language. What we mean by natural language is the regular language we are used to speaking as humans. English, French, Yoruba, Igbo, any language that we speak is natural language, in contrast to what we call the artificial language, basically, that could be a formal language that the computer understands. So basically, in a Dialogflow, you can actually build different kind of applications to do different kind of things. We all know about chatbots today, but most time people confuse what Dialogflow is and what a chatbot is. So there is a difference. So sometimes when you tell somebody Dialogflow, they just tell you chatbot, but chatbot is one of the implementations you can have with by using the Dialogflow to basically What are chatbots? I know that we have used them one time or the other, maybe on Messenger, maybe in other applications. So chatbots are simply computer programs or machines that can chat with you. So basically you have, when you come to Messenger, for instance, there are some shop online that just ask you to talk directly to their chatbot, or you have some customer care center that asks you what is your question. Based on what you choose, they give you some systematic responses. Whereas a conversational artificial intelligence is the name for AI tools behind the conversational experiences. So you will use a conversational experience to build a chatbot. For instance, you can use your Dialogflow to build a chatbot. So Dialogflow is the tool, chatbot is the implementation. So that basics is important already for us to understand. So it means that the conversational artificial intelligence tool is actually what will hold or what will host the AI. Now, we have what we call the natural language processing. Don't worry, we'll soon be done with all this explanation. The natural language processing really is a short for natural NLP, we call it NLP is a short for natural language processing. What that simply means is that the ability of your device or your dispositive to understand what you are saying in your own language, in your own way. So basically also we have some very intelligent system today that have even gotten to the level of understanding slangs based on how they've been implemented. So basically the processing, that the way the computer analyzes the sound that comes from a language is what we call the natural language processing. So we also have in natural language processing what we call text to speech. So it means I can give a text to the computer or to my application, then it will read out in voice. Or we also have what we call the speech to text. So I will talk, then it will type what I'm saying. So we already have those kind of implementation already in some of the applications we use. Some of us use voice recorders on our phone. We also have applications that we copy text in and they read it out to us. So all that is part of the conversational experience and they are part of the things we can do with Dialogflow. So basically, from a personal perspective, I think this is a very important thing for us in Africa. Basically, one of the reasons why technology has not been, in as much as we have a lot of progress, that we have not made much more progress than this is because we have a lot of people in Africa who are not educated. So there is this literacy constraints when it comes to using some of the products that were built by Africans. So this is where Dialogflow comes into play, because with the Dialogflow, you don't really have to read to be able to use an application. You can simply talk to the applications. So it means that this gives us an upper hand in terms of being able to access or have access to a larger portion of our society. So naturally, I encourage a lot of people to at least know how to build conversational applications, because we have a lot of people, maybe they can understand English, but they can't write it. So if you build an application in English that speaks slowly, they will be able to use the application, even though they can't read or write. So it is actually something that can help us in Africa to reach much more people with the services we are providing. So another thing to know is what we call machine learning in contrast to intelligent analysis. So basically, the machine learning means that basically the computer or the machine, as it were, learn from its interaction with us. So it's learning, and what it is learning comes from what we call a knowledge base. A knowledge base is simply some set of facts that has been given to the computer. So based on its interaction, it updates its knowledge base and gets better prediction next time. Whereas the intelligence analysis is actually a key function of a conversational AI, which talks about giving the computer the ability to analyze and make suggestions and recommendations to us. So for instance, if you're using a Google map and you pass through a particular place today, and maybe there was a roadblock or something, and you used an alternate route, the next time Google Maps will likely suggest the alternate routes to you because this route now exists. This route is now updated in its system. So this analysis is actually a key function of any intelligent system to be able to make better suggestions. So we are done with the explanation and analysis. So before I go into explaining the technical nitty-gritty, I think we need to put some motivation here. So really, what is in for an individual that is interested in chatbot development? Basically, chatbot is not the only thing we do with Dialogflow, like I've mentioned earlier, but I'll say it's the most recurrent because a lot of businesses out there are using it. And because a lot of businesses out there are using it, they are ready to pay developers who can make this portion of their services much more effective. Even today, you go to websites and immediately they are telling you chats with us. So even if you do website development, it will be interesting for you to be able to integrate a chatbot for your customer. Today, even if you have a Facebook page, you have the possibility of integrating a chatbot to answer simple questions. So people don't write you for things that the information are already present on your page. So it is actually a growing market today, and it will keep growing because a lot of businesses want to have better opportunities to put themselves out there. So in the US, an average chatbot developer ends up to $121,000 I would say, per year. That is almost like $62 per hour. So obviously we know that cannot be the same rate in Africa, but the truth of the matter is that you can get online jobs today that can actually avail you those kind of cost also, even though you will not be get paid as much as that, but you will still get very well paid. Also, we have a lot of companies in Africa that are also interested in having this kind of services on their platform for their customers. So you can suggest, even if all you do for companies is just building chatbots for their services, you can already make a lot of money from it. Also, you might be wondering, maybe the 100 and something thousand is for maybe an expert in chatbot development. But really, even as a newbie in chatbot development, you can still earn up to $80,000 per year if you are in the US or you work online for a US company. So I think that is a good motivation to know that whatever you will be learning is something you can really monetize later. Okay, so now we're going to look at Dialogflow console. Now that I believe we are really motivated to be more interested. It is in our actuality today. We see it in the day-to-day things we do. It is a domain that can actually fetch you a lot of money as a developer. So I think we are well motivated enough to learn about what the Dialogflow console is. First of all, to work on Dialogflow, you just need to go to console.dialogflow.com. Obviously, you go through the sign in with Google. We already know that song by now. If you use Google platforms, you know that you have to always sign in with Google. I don't know if those following actually right now have, if you have a laptop there with which you are following, or I'll just go ahead and you can watch later. Basically, when you want to sign in with Google, obviously you have to accept the terms of service, which I'm going to do right now. Then the next thing we have to do, like we have in our PowerPoint, is to create an agent. So I'm going to click on create an agent here. So the moment I choose to create an agent, I'll have to supply the agent's name. For instance, let me create IYD22. Okay, oh, sorry, IYDND. NG, okay, just IYD22. So basically that is all you have to do here. The other information you have here on the platform is talking about the default language of because the language is important, because you are going to be having a conversational app so that the sentences can be put in place and the diction and pronunciation can be more accurate. So if you choose the wrong language at this point, it will pronounce the things you write, but not properly. Also, you have the time zone. Basically, this will be the time zone. I'm in GMT+1, and the server, the API request is from Madrid. So the Google project is asking here if you want to set up a mega agent. We are not there yet, so we're just going to do something simple. So basically, all you have to do at this point is just supply the name then you create. So once that is done, we'll see now that we get back to the Dialogflow platform, as it were. Okay, so we are back to the Dialogflow platform. Once we do that, we'll save our agents. Then we come to our platform where, and basically this is the Dialogflow platform is actually very simple. One of the reasons why I like teaching Dialogflow is because I really don't have to explain a lot of complexities when it comes to the platform. The platform is as simple as you are looking at it. You have your menu on the left, and also the most important thing in Dialogflow, which is the intent. Basically, everything starts from the intent, which we are going to see what that means very soon. Once you log in, you save the name for your project, then you immediately onto the platform. So before we move on, I really want to say what an intent is, because here you can see, here we have a IYB22 here on the left pane. We can see the language is in English because it's EN, then we have intents. So what are intents? Basically, in Dialogflow, intent helps you to figure out what the user wants. You know, it's a conversational application. That simply means that the user would want to ask something. The user wants to know something. So intents are basically some set of phrases that you think will go along with what the user would ask. Now, the powerful thing about Dialogflow is that you don't need to imagine everything the user wants. You can actually just put fewer phrases, but once the user asks something that looks like any of the things you have set out, it will still give them the correct answer. So you don't need to really have an exhaustive list. Having an exhaustive list is good, but really you can have fewer things. But once there is similarity between what you define and what the user types, it will actually fetch them the answer. So basically, intent is created for anything a user might request. Hence, for each intent you create, an example of various ways a user might communicate during conversation. For instance, if I'm coming to this conference today and I want to know when the meeting starts, I can ask the question in different ways. Okay, so going back to our platform here, the first thing I want to show you before we create our own custom intent is to see what is called here the welcome intent. Once you create your project and you go to the intent, you have a default intent, which is the welcome intent. I need to confirm here. Can you see my slide presently? I don't know what you are seeing. I just received a notification. Hello. I just need to be sure you can see my slides. Wrong screen. Oh. We are seeing Google Slide. Oh, so sorry. Kindly let me sort that out. Okay, so I'm going to share two screens. I believe this and this. Okay, is it good now? Can you see my screen now? Okay, if somebody can speak, that would help, so that I'm not checking the messages. I want to be sure you can see the platform. Oh, okay. Blessing, thank you. Yes, you can. Thank you very much. Thank you also, Kechi. Okay, so basically, I'm so sorry about that. So basically, like I said in the slide, just going back to the slide, basically, like I said in the slide, when you want to start with, also you have access to the documents, I believe. I can also share them here on Zoom. The first thing you need to do, like I said, is to sign in with Google. You create the agent, you update the name and you save it, but you have to ensure the language is correct so that you can have a better pronunciation. Then you come to intents, basically, and I was about to start explaining the welcome intent, which is the default intent you have when you create your folder your project, as it were, in Dialogflow. So we're going to click on the welcome intent and see what it does. So I click on the intent. I hope everybody still have this screen right now. I hope it's working. Let me check the messages one more time. I don't have any message. Okay. So when you come to the welcome intent, okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mobi. When you come to the welcome intent, you just have to understand we have context. You can see context and events. Since I'm talking about an introduction basically of Dialogflow, I'm not going to be talking about that. What I'm talking about right now is what we're just going to go to training phrases. Training phrases are simply, like I said, you have to imagine or come up with the things you think your users might ask. So now this intent name is called welcome. Welcome simply means, what do I want to tell the user when they come? First of all, you want to tell them hello, or the user will want to tell you hello or something. So you have to think about what the users can, basically what the users can say. So since it's a default intent, Dialogflow developers had already put some things inside for us just to help us see how intent works. Here you could see in the training phrases here, you could see the examples of phrases that has been put there. You have just going to say hi, hey, hello, howdy, and so on and so forth. So with these training phrases, so it means when the user say anything among this list or anything close to what is on this list, then they get a standard response. So after the training phrases, you have also what we call responses. So responses here is whatever you want the user to say. You can remove everything that was written here. You can just delete them, or you can just add to them. For instance, I want to delete the first one, or I want to change the first one to hello, welcome to IYD 22. Okay, so basically that. So once I have that, what do I need to do? How do I know if this is working? Just look on your right-hand pane. You see that it is now, you have 3 sections. You have the sections for the menu where you can see the different functionalities. You have the section where you can work on a particular functionalities you click on. For instance, now intent, we are on intent. Then you have a third place where you can actually test out what you are doing. Basically, when you are in a standard ID writing an application, you have your screen editor, then you have where you can compile your program and execute your program. So it's the same thing here. So here, basically, my screen, my code editor is this middle. Then where I can see what I'm doing is on the right-hand pane. So to try out, I'll just write any of the phrases and see what the AI system would respond. For instance, if I say hi there, okay, hi there, it says, hi, how are you doing? You can also activate the voice anyway, but I'm not using the voice because I want to maximize the connection I have. So you can speak to the app. Obviously, you could say hi there by words and it will also respond doing the same. So I would say, hi, how are you doing must definitely be one of my responses. So if I check here, okay, I did not say when I remove how are you doing. So let's do that again. Actually, it's not supposed to be there. So every time you edit something, you should save. So saving just ensures that you have the last updates. Sometimes you might also not have it immediately because of your connection. It takes a while to update. So it says, good day, what can I do for you today? Obviously, that is part of my list. Obviously, you do not. So here is the trick. You cannot determine what the response will be, but one thing you can be sure of, the response is going to be one of the responses that you have written. So I'm just going to double our chances of having something about IYD by writing something else about IYD. It's IYD 22. So let's save that. Okay, we are done. I'm just going to say hello. He said, how can I help you? So basically, my welcome intent is just going to help the user, help me to ask the user what the user needs. Or if you have a standard statement, if a company you're working for, they have a standard statement they say when somebody called them on the phone, you will want to have that here. Some company will say, hello, this is X and YZ company, how may we help you today? So you can put something like that in your response in the welcome intent. Now we're going to move from the welcome intent. We're going to move on to asking ourselves now what we have learned so far. So because I know this might be a bit new, so I would actually want response. I don't know if it's possible to unmute our mics from time to time so that we can actually say. So here is a trick. When you get something, you just send me your email. I can send you these lovely raspberries so that you can have them for after the IYD basically. So what have we learned so far? Anybody wants to go? Okay, I'm supposed to be rounding up. So what have we learned so far?
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm going to allow people to unmute themselves for the next couple of minutes. Then if you have anything you want to say, now is the time. Okay.
Hello, Rachel.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Real quick, I have learned that conversational AI is the tool and chat box is the implementation. And
Okay.
when I'm setting up my chat box account, I should ensure that the language is correct so that it is not misinterpreting what I'm writing.
Exactly.
So I'm going to keep things up.
All right. So I think it's also important to know that to do Dialogflow, you need to go to Dialogflow, consult.dialogflow.com. So that's very important also. Anyway, you are going to have access to the documentation, but thank you very much for that. So when we move away from the welcome intent, that was what was there by default. Now let's look at how to quickly how to create our own intent. What if you don't want to create welcome intent? You don't want to use just the welcome intent, obviously. You want to create your own intent. All you have to do is to double click on intent on your right here. You double click on intent. So you can always click on that to have a new intent. So it's either you double click on it or you click on the plus sign. So immediately it asks you for the intent name. Let me say probably I want to ask for the time for the IYD event. So I save my intent right there. Then I can include training phrases. So if someone is going to ask for the times for the meeting, how are they going to ask for that? So I'm going to obviously include that in the training phrases. Then I'm also going to put the responses there. Okay, so I'll have the training phrases. For instance, what time does IYD start? IWD, I'm always saying IYD, I don't know why. IWD starts. Okay, that's a question, for instance, the user can ask, and we can respond by saying the time is, or IWD is starting 12 noon. Okay, so basically, that's it. So I'll save it like we say. You always have to save. So the idea is that you cannot always just have one training phrase. You have to have multiple training phrases so that when a user uses your application over time, they don't feel like they are really now talking to a robot. So you want to be able to diversify a bit. So if I say what time, for instance, let's see. Oh, okay, sorry. What time does IYD start? So it's saying that IYD is starting 12 noon, basically. So like I said, I'm typing and it's responding, but there is a microphone. The user can talk and get audio responses, but whatever the user is getting in audio is what has already been implemented as it were in the platform. So we're going to move on quickly to looking at, that is how to create your custom intent. Is as simple as that. But the intent is not the only thing you need in Dialogflow. You need to know about intent, entity extraction, fulfillment, webhook. I have put some links in the document where you can learn more about these things. So this is more of a, how will I say, is more of an introductory class. So there is what we call small talk on Dialogflow. It's also very important to populate data in this part. What is the small talk? Small talk simply means, sometimes users always ask a conversational applications things that are not related to the purpose of the application. For instance, a user can ask a conversational application, do you love me? Or what is my name? Things like that. So the way Dialogflow platform has been structured, you can actually go to a place where we call the small talk to fill in those information that are not related to your product. So you just give like a default statement. For instance, when you scroll down the pane, you can see the small talk. So you see the small talk here, you activate the small talk. So you see that there is quite a list in the small talk. Is about the agents. Somebody can ask a conversational app, who are you, for instance? You might want to say, I am a chatbot. I don't know if that's what you want to say. So once the person, asks, who are you, it responds, I'm a chatbot. If you want to put different things, you can put that. Also, you can make your responses as much as possible. So it can always have options to choose from. So it's not always saying the same thing, because once a conversational app is repeating the same thing all the time, it's just too obvious that it is a robot and it's no longer interesting for the user. So you want to have enough responses. Also, aside about the agents, you can also have other information regards. Anyway, so you can actually see you have about the agent, but there are other things also that you can feel, like courtesy, emotion. If somebody can ask the conversational app, like I said, do you love me? You want to, depending on the kind of product you are selling or you are modeling for your clients, will determine what you say. When the app say, if it's a psychological, how will I say, a company app, obviously you will not say, no, I don't love you, basically, because the person is there for emotional help. So you know what to say at this point and so on and so forth. So basically, it's actually on the small talk, you can put all these basic things that user asks that are usually not related to the application. So that's about small talk. So you also do everything you do there, also you ensure that you save. Now, what are Google Actions? An action is a third-party experience for Google Assistant. Once you create your Dialogflow, once you are done with inserting all your training phrases and creating your fulfillment, you need now to, export your app into an action so that it can now be implementable on either the Google Home, like you have seen. So that is when you are done with all your training phrases, when you are done with everything, then you have to integrate. So also on the Dialogflow platform, you will see integrations, and you can now integrate so that it can become an action that will now be available on Google Action platform, obviously when you pass the review. So basically, in a nutshell, when you write your application in Dialogflow, the whole purpose is that Dialogflow serves like a knowledge base for questioning and responding and execution for the things you want to do, for instance, with your Google Assistant, which is the application you are speaking to through your Google Home, for instance. So in place of your Google Home and your Google Assistant, you can have maybe a Flutter app, an Android app, etc., a chatbot on how will I say, Facebook. So irrespective of the implementations, you have your Dialogflow, which is your conversational tool that you can use to implement several things. So you can see later when you have the document how the communication channel is being carried out. So what are the different industries today that uses Dialogflow? You have retail, you have media and entertainment. You can see the list here, and this list is from the Dialogflow official platform. So basically to tell you today that there is actually no domain. If you learn Dialogflow and you are good at it, you actually be able to work with everybody across platform, because everybody today wants something that can help them communicate better with their clients. And also you can also come up with your own project to reach much more people who are not properly educated when it comes to reading and writing. So how do you begin your journey, your Dialogflow journey? Basically, There are important steps here you need to follow to be able to create an action on Google. You can look at it there. And also I put it there again, console.dialogflow.com is where you need to go to. Then from there, you can see the different steps. So the purpose of these steps is that, for instance, you do something, you want to know what should I do next? Then you can see that, okay, I need to go to this point next, I need to go to that point next, and so on and so forth. So where to start? I have put here like 3 resources you can use. We have Women in Voice workshop that is on Google Developers Code Lab. There are women who are also developers in conversational applications. I think that is very important because of the context we are in. Is an IYD, is women in tech. So having a community of women that do Google Dialogflow can also help you to learn better and motivate you. So by clicking on that link, you will see they have very, very good articles on how you can start without knowing a lot of things or without doing anything complex in Dialogflow. Also, we have the Dialogflow community on Medium. There are many, many resources there. And even if you have issues with your program, you can ask questions over there in Dialogflow. We also have the Dialogflow dev community that you can join. So basically, that's going to be all from me. I just need to remind us, it is progress, not perfection. Even though you start out and, don't raise too much expectation. Go with creating simple things. For instance, the first application I created was an application that helps in context of gender-based violence. So I did an app that helps women to know the rights they have according to the law. I live in Benin Republic of Benin, how they can better protect themselves, right to education, right to a clean and safe environment, etc. So just to help secondary school girls know that the law actually protects them. And if they are victims of sexual violence or any type of violence, they have the numbers they can call. So you can do something meaningful to you. You can also do something that can be used for your business. Thank you very much. And I hope I have made it as simple as possible for you to want to learn Dialogflow. So I have some job opportunities there for you for Dialogflow. I also have some relevant links also you can learn from for Dialogflow. So that's going to be me. I think somebody is drawing. Oh, you're drawing on my picture. I don't know who drew this anyway, but somebody is drawing here. Basically. So that's from me. My name is Rachel again. I'm a software R&D expert. I'm a PhD student. I work for I'm an international consultant at UN Women, also the crowdsource influencer for Cotonou. So you can reach me there on my email if you want to continue your Dialogflow journey. And also on social media, geekonil01. That's basically my social media handles. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll be expecting if you have questions, I can answer your question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachel. I don't know, someone is drawing on the screen.
I think it's maybe you have to remove the person. I'm not sure.
Yes. Okay. The host, Rachel, please, can you just try and not give access?
I'm trying to do that now. I know participants don't have access to I don't know how the person goes in.
I think that's over. Okay. So
okay.
We're supposed to. Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you very much for the amazing session. If you have any question for Rachel, please drop it in the chat session and she'll be there to reply and answer all your questions. So we're okay. So I think we'll have to remove this person. I think JJ.
I can't see the person as participant. So how is he able to enter? Look, I think I've seen the. I don't know who this law is.
LOL, yes.
I'm moving in.
Okay.
Okay,
awesome. So I don't know, can we still give access to participants to turn on their videos? Because we're supposed to take
I'm actually scared of that.
Picture
so we
together.
We don't
or should we just proceed to the next?
I don't know, Rachel, what do you think?
What do you think, Ezine? Should we just proceed with the whole issue? With the whole issue that's happening right now?
Yeah, I don't know.
We should just proceed, right?
Right now, we've locked the meeting, and we've enabled meeting waiting room. So everyone can share their video now.
All right. So please, let's all turn on our videos and take screenshots. Yes, feel free to do that.
Isn't it? Can you please?
We don't have access.
Yeah, isn't it? Please allow people to share their video.
All right, I'm doing that now. You should be able to do that.
Okay. So yeah, let's all turn on our cameras. Can't see you. Ezine, Rachel, Fatima, all the participants. Please turn on your videos. Yeah, I can see you now, Ezine. Please feel free to turn on your videos. It's a group photo, so let's just all turn on our video, okay? Awesome. So let's all take screenshots. Smile pretty. let's just smile and take screenshots so we can have that. Yeah. Are we taking pictures?
Rachel, are you doing that? I don't know if I should.
Yeah, I'm taking screenshots.
Awesome,
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. You can turn off your videos now. So our next session will be a panel session, and we have 3 amazing panelists. We'll be hearing from them. They'll get to share their stories and how it has been, as a woman in tech, what they've gone through, give us advice, how to be a more successful woman in tech. So the first panelist here is Zainab. Zainab Idris is a creative director of At 6 Stars Beat. She's a women tech maker, ambassador for Kaduna City, and a woman in tech advocate for youth empowerment activities. Hi, Zainab.
Hello, Blessing. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for joining in. So I'll just introduce the remaining panelists as well. So next is Audrey Eruman. So sorry if I didn't get the pronunciation right. Apologies. She's a passionate young Ivorian entrepreneur of information and communication technologies, ICT. She is the founder of AE Tech, consulting and initiator of Community Women Abidjan, Abidjan Tech Makers. Okay, thank you so much, Audrey, for joining in. And the final panelist, I don't think she's on the call, is supposed to be Memunat Manzuma, the mentor for Women Tech Maker SSA. And this panel session will be moderated by Ezine. Hi, Ezine. Please take it up from here.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Blessing. So, hi, Zainab and Audrey. If you can hear me, please unmute your mic so we could just start. So, I'm going to start with Audrey, and you have, let's say, 2 minutes each to answer your questions because we really do not have enough time. So, the first question goes to Audrey. So, the question goes this way. Can you kindly walk us through a typical day at work from the moment you step into when you get projects chalked out and deadlines met? Like, can you help us, walk us through how you're able to do your work on a daily basis? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eden. Hello, everyone. So, in the morning, as soon as I get at office, I have either a Onitis or coffee. Then I check my email, and after I make a to-do list of the task I need to do with simple tools like Google Keep. And after I sort them from the easiest to do to the most difficult, and I start with the easiest. And every time I finish a task, I check off from my to-do list. And after at 10, I take a break to make some call and check some email. And after I continue my activity until noon, and take 1 hour break for my lunch. And after I work, check my email again. And usually I finish at work at 7. I don't work after 7. Thank you.
Wow, that's nice. Okay, so the second question goes to Zainab. How do you get into tech? What inspired you to try it out? And what do you have to tell those on this call who are interested in tech, but they don't even know how to start a career in tech? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. My story was kind of a very interesting one, because when I got into tech, it was actually not by my choice. So we had this, when we say computer school in Nigeria, we all understand that it's kind of a computer shop or a cafe whereby someone out of the blue just open it and maybe is doing photocopy, lamination, those kind of services. So we had this particular school that walked to my school, and they were giving scholarship for the student. So I got selected by my school based on my academic performance to go and represent our school. That's at the computer school. So that was how I started my own journey. It was actually not by my own choice. It was based on my academic performance. And it has been an interesting journey since I joined. It was something that I never believed something good will come out of, because when I joined, I was quite young, very, very young. It was then, I think it was around 2005, and we have less access to computers. There were no computers around. If you see computers, it's either at these big companies or maybe at your school, at the admin section in particular. So yeah, that was how I got myself into tech. That was by academic performance. And when I started the journey, I realized that it's something that is quite creative and innovative. And that's something that I'm really, really passionate about. I love anything that has to do with creativity, anything that has to do with innovation, like creating something interesting out of almost nothing. I love that. I enjoyed that. So from there, I picked interest, and it has been a wonderful journey since then. So my advice to any person out there that is about to take this wonderful step is to actually be more consistent, more dedicated to whatever he's doing, because you have to be constantly upgrading whatever you are learning in tech. If you are not upgrading yourself, you end up being outdated. So I think that's pretty much from my own side.
Okay. Thank you so much, Zainab. Like she rightly said, most times people have different reason why they go into tech, or what motivates them to go into tech. Some people is because, oh, my friend is a software developer and she's doing well, she's earning big. Some people is because of the money. Some people just want to start a career in tech because they know, oh, tech is like the new cool, everybody's going into tech. So before you can actually jump into that, you have to make sure it's something you're passionate about. It's something that you really want to go into. Don't just go into it because of the money, because when you go into tech because of the money, at some point you might not be interested again, or the motivation will not be there again, right? So yeah. So the next question goes to Audrey. What are you most excited about in the future of technology? What technology do you see gaining popularity and becoming indispensable in the near future? I don't know if you got my question, or should I repeat myself?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay. I think that technology still has a bright future. It allows you to live better, to live more intelligently, and especially to solve problems that we had longer tried. So the technology that we essential for me is the artificial intelligences, because we have more and more tendency to create our program to anticipate many things and make use be autonomous. Who does not like easy things? So I think this technology will be indispensable for the next year. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So like she said, most times as someone who is into tech, and like how Zinab said too, you need to update yourself, and or it's just like a learning and continuous improvements. You need to keep learning, trying out new technologies, new programming languages, so that it's not just be like you're stuck in one, and then when someone or probably a colleague says, oh, do you know how to do this, or you want you to implement this, and you're just like, where is this one coming from? So you need to read a lot of documentation, just like Rachel said, she's going to share the documentation for Dialogflow. So yeah, you need to always update yourself as someone who is into tech, so that when new things are brought up, we are not just like, where are these ones coming from? So thank you so much, Audrey, for that. So the next question goes to Zinab. What are the social challenges that you have faced as a lady in your tech journey? How do you handle confronting injustice and bias without being sidelined or branded a troublemaker, in quotes? How do you advise others to handle this?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. This question is something that I think most women are on the table. Like, we get constant challenge with constant backfires about why we choose the career and everything related to it. So personally, after my secondary school, because I went to all girls secondary school, and moving into the tech sector, I found myself among just the two ladies in my class. The rest are all boys. So I was kind of not really comfortable in that kind of setting, because it's not something that I'm really used to. So for me to actually adjust to kind of setting, it took me so many challenges. Let's talk about presentations. Like, mostly after we are done with any project, any application you develop, you have to present it, defend it in front of the school. So that was one of my biggest challenge, to present, to stand in front of the audience, to talk about it, and to just feel like, yes, I owned it. I am the one that developed this. I'm the one that designed it, without having that feeling that some people will start thinking that, no, maybe it's Cosmic that did it for me. So through that, should I say it was quite a challenging experience for me, because there was a time that I can vividly remember that I had to even cry in front of the audience. I was making a presentation about this particular website that I designed. It was about cars, like where you can purchase a car, information about the car, everything about cars. So someone among the audience, a guy, he just shouted out that I was not the one that developed it. And I could vividly remember how I took my time, visited some car dealers' spaces to make inquiries, to even check about some cars, like to know as much as I can to defend myself. But him making that statement made me very weak in front of the audience. And I was so thankful that I had a very outstanding lecturer in particular, that was our web design teacher, and he quickly like cautioned him. He called his attention and was like, no, you don't have to do that. He even had to send him out of the defense hall. So though at that time I had already lost the confidence, so I was only able to do a very few presentation to just show them around the website and all. So after the presentation, my lecturer called me and he was, all I had to do was just to voice out and defend myself, to show them that I am the one that really did this. I was the one that actually walked around the development, did everything and all. So if there's anything that I would like to always advise women, especially, is just to use your voice to defend yourself and just work hard in whatever you are doing, work hard in anything that you're trying to develop. Ensure that you actually know in and out of it to avoid issues like that. So if you had this kind of confrontation from nowhere, for you to just maybe defend yourself without being tagged as the troublemaker, I feel the only thing is for you to just voice out, show that you know what you're doing. And I think that would be the best way to tackle such kind of situation. And my advice to others would be, they should also do their best in whatever you're doing. Copy and paste, sometimes it doesn't help us. Sometimes it doesn't help us. You being able to know what you're doing in and out is what really matters. So yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you so much, Zina. So the next question goes to Audrey. Do you feel you have had to work harder than male colleagues to advance your career?
That is a great question. I think all women in any male-dominated environment have to work harder to advance. However, I always put in myself in the mindset that I was better at everything I did. So I did not expect anyone to evaluate the quality of my work to value me. I always give my best because I want to, not because I want to be perceived better in my field. And when I do this, most of the women I have worked with are little afraid and leave me alone. So the women need to work many times longer than men. So this is what I think about it.
All right, I think that's a final question. So thank you so much, Zainab and Audrey, for making our time to be on our panel section. I don't know if the participants, anybody has any question for them, you can drop it on the chat, or if you like us to unmute you to talk, you can just use the raise hand function and we'll be able to unmute you to speak. So yeah, that's fine. Thank you so much. Blessing, over to you.
Thank you, Ezine. Thanks to our panelists. That was really amazing, listening to your stories and how you were able to overcome, working fears, fears of working in a bias work and all of that. So thank you so much, Zainab. I can totally relate with your story. The fact that you are a woman and you come up with something really awesome, and then people don't believe that you were able to do that just because you are a woman. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. So if you have other bias stories or any other thing you want to contribute, feel free to use the raise hand option or just drop it in the comment section. Now, data support for all participants. So if you can just go to the chat session and fill the form, we'll be supporting you with data. And also, I would call on Rachel to just announce our winner for the giveaway. But then if you haven't done so, if you haven't done the Twitter challenge, you can still rush to Twitter and tweet about the event and use the hashtags. Yeah. So Rachel, Can you please announce our winner for the giveaway so we can wrap up event for today?
Okay, thank you so much, Blessing. Before we wrap up, I think I would like to appreciate all of our panelists and all of our speakers. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been really amazing having you all here. I think it's always amazing having women come together. So thank you so much for being part of this. Okay. Concerning our winner for today's event, let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to do suspense, but I don't know how to do it. Anyway, the thing is, we actually have the same number of people across boards. I think we have Continental Special, we have Fatima A, and then we have Elizabeth Agada. So it's kind of like we have a tie. So let's see who will be the fastest person to post the next tweet, and then that person will be our winner amongst these three people. Yeah, we have a tie, and yeah, we definitely have a tie. 3 people, Continental Special, Elizabeth, and Fatima. Let's see who will be the next person to add new tweets. What are you doing? What are you saying? See now.
So ladies,
nobody wants to win this.
If you want to win this, just quickly drop a tweet using the hashtag. Okay. I don't think Fatima is still on the call, but Elizabeth is here.
Yeah, Continental.
Yeah, so just if you're here, just.
Yeah, we have a winner. Continental.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. Who is Continental Special? Let's start from there.
Let's play a song for the winner. Can we play a song for the winner?
Yes, you can do that.
Let's see. Where's that Nigerian song that everybody plays?
Stand up for the champion.
So Ruth, are you Continental? Ruth Ali? Because she just typed on, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, she is. Congratulations, Ruth.
Okay. Congratulations, Ruth.
Lucidchart makes intelligent diagramming easy and helps your best ideas be.
Trying to play stand up. Thank you for playing that.
Thank you so much.
I have waited patiently. I have vision, no I know I can count. Stand up for the champion, stand up, stand up, stand up for the champion, stand up.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Izini. So our winner for the giveaway Twitter challenge is Ruth Ali Luwashi. So I think Izini will be reaching out to you. If you can just send your
number, or can you drop your number? I don't know how.
Yeah, send your phone number. Try to respond. Try to send a message or send directly to Izini with your phone number.
This is my WhatsApp number.
Okay. So just reach out to Izini. Izini will sort you out. Meanwhile, I dropped a link earlier. So for everyone who attended this event, we are subbing a data support. So if you can please just fill this form, that would really be awesome. So we can support you with data. Thank you so much. It's Blessing. Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rachel. On behalf of the Regional IWD team, we want to say thank you to our speakers, our panelists, and participants. We really appreciate you for taking this time out to attend our event. And yeah, that is all from me. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Make sure you fill the data support form as well. Thank you.
What's the data support about? Please.
Just fill the form. When you go through the form, you should be able to see what it's about.
Okay, I filled it already, actually. All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, cheers. Bye.
Appreciate it.